This is historian Stephen Uchifusa. I'm back here in northeastern Massachusetts to do work for the history of the Ames family. And I'm back at these two really remarkable buildings, the Oaks Ames Memorial Hall and the Ames Free Library. And these two structures were built as part of an ensemble between the late 1870s and early 1880s by two branches of the Ames family. The library is built by Frederick Lothrop Ames, and the Ames Memorial Hall was built by his cousin, Governor Oliver Ames. And these two structures were meant to basically demonstrate the permanence and rootedness of the Ames family in northeastern Massachusetts. They were also built for the benefit of the town and for their workers at the shovel shop across the street. And now that the weather is warmer and these buildings are set against the brilliant blue summer sky, the true genius of Richardson's vision becomes apparent. What I find fascinating about Richardson was that he was one of the first Americans trained at the École des Beaux-Arts. He was from Louisiana, attended Harvard University, and was a true cosmopolitan, someone who understood French design, European design, but he also had a very strong sense of trying to create an American style. And he felt that the muscularity of the Romanesque, the French Romanesque, was a true expression of industrial America, America coming to its own after the Civil War and shedding, frankly, the kind of vulgar excesses of the Second Empire style that had taken over the US in the 1860s, and stripping away a lot of the needless ornament and the balloon mansard roofs to create something cleaner, more out of the earth. Very proto Frank Lloyd Wright. And just the colors he uses, the native stone, makes it look like the buildings are just shooting up out of the ground and are rooted here. And Richardson was someone who had just a tremendous design flair. He had an atelier in Brookline, Massachusetts that students flocked to. He also collaborated heavily with Frederick Law Olmsted, who was another visionary of the reimagining the American landscape. And this example in Northeastern of their collaboration between Olmsted and Richardson is a truly remarkable survivor. But Richardson, like a lot of great artists, like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and also like Frank Lloyd Wright, had a tremendous design sense, was just terrible with money, gained these grand commissions, but he just loved living the grand life. He was also got very sick with Brice disease in his early middle age. So he was a man who knew he was living on borrowed time. Maybe that's why he was so profligate with his spending. But after his death, Frederick Lothrop Ames, his greatest patron, basically stepped in and saved his family, saved his practice. And the practice of H. Richardson was folded into a new one, Shepley, Coolidge, Bulfinch, and Abbott. Well, that was the name of the firm later. If under this new organization was Shepley, Rutan, and Coolidge. But that firm survives and to this day, and was also later responsible for much of the designs at Harvard University in the 1920s, sponsored by the Forbes family. So there's a lot of continuity in this Bostonian design language. But the thing that's remarkable about these buildings also is that by the 1970s, this sort of architecture was extremely out of fashion. It was loathed by a lot of the architecture establishment. That same establishment, in many ways, that was created by Richardson. I mean, he was a true pioneer of the architect as a professional. Previously to that, architects were self-trained, so almost carpenters. But Richardson gave the architecture profession dignity, professional credentials, having been trained at the École des Beaux-Arts, helped, he along with Richard Morris Hunt were among the earliest to establish architecture as a respectable profession alongside law and medicine. And the Ames family, which continues to reside in Northeastern, made a very concerted effort along with the town fathers to preserve these buildings when they were way out of fashion. And today, people come from all over the world to see this Olmsted Richardsonian landscape. And the Ames Free Library, the Oaks Ames Memorial Hall are just magnificently preserved, looking as they did back in the 1880s. When the shovel factory across the street was in full operation and providing a giant cash flow for the Ames family and wages for the workers of Northeastern. This is historian Stephen Uchifusa. Thank you for listening. This is Wet Lunch on the High Seas. Please subscribe to my channel, both on Substack and on YouTube. Thank you.